The wedding hall shimmered with golden lights and soft classical music, but for Emma Rivers, it all sounded like a funeral march. She stood in front of the towering mirror in the bridal suite, her reflection staring back at her like a stranger wrapped in silken diamonds. Her gown, delicate lace, fitted bodice, embroidered with tiny pearls, felt like a cage. Her veil, long and heavy, felt like a curtain closing over a life she didn't choose. Her mother's voice pierced the door for the third time. "Emma, everyone is waiting. Victor is already at the altar. Do not embarrass us." Emma gripped the bouquet so tightly the stem snapped. Embarrass them, that was all her life had become. A series of actions meant to keep up appearances. Her father's business had been failing for years. Victor Hale, rich and powerful, had swooped in like a savior, offering investment, stability, and a proposal. Emma knew the truth. She wasn't a fiancé, she was collateral. The knock came harder this time. "Emma, enough, let's go." She closed her eyes and replayed every moment of the past year. Victor charming the world, Victor whispering threats in her ear, Victor deciding what she wore, where she went, who she saw. Victor squeezing her wrist until she cried when she refused to cancel a job interview. "If you don't marry me, your father loses everything." She tried to convince herself she could endure it. People had endured worse. Women had survived worse. Maybe life wasn't about freedom, maybe it was about responsibility. But standing here, heart pounding like a trapped bird, Emma felt something inside her crack wide open. She couldn't live her life as someone's possession. She couldn't marry a man who controlled her with fear. And she couldn't be the reason her father stayed indebted to a monster. Her breathing quickened. She had to leave. Now. She kicked off the painful wedding heels, grabbed the skirt of her gown in both hands, and crept to the side door that led to the service hallway. The corridor was empty, everyone was focused on the ceremony. Her pulse hammered as she slipped down the emergency exit stairs and pushed open the back door. Cold air rushed in, stinging her skin. Freedom felt like oxygen after drowning. She ran. The gravel scraped her bare feet as she sprinted across the parking lot. Her veil tore on a car bumper, but she didn't stop. She didn't look back. She didn't care that someone would discover her empty dressing room in seconds and sound the alarm. She just ran. Her breath was ragged by the time she reached the far end of the lot, where a man was loading grocery bags into a dusty SUV. A little girl hummed in the back seat, swinging her legs and licking a popsicle. Emma didn't intend to run to him. Her legs simply chose survival, and he looked like safety in human form. The man turned when he heard frantic footsteps. His brows lifted in shock. A bride in a torn gown, makeup streaked, hair half undone, running toward him like she was fleeing a wildfire. "Please," Emma gasped, voice cracking. "Help me, someone's coming. I need to get away. Please." The man, Noah Carter, breathed out a confused, what?" But before he could say more, heavy footsteps echoed behind her. Emma didn't look, but she knew. Victor's men. They'd found the empty room. They would drag her back, smiling politely as they forced her into a marriage she didn't want. She grabbed Noah's forearm with trembling fingers. "Please, I'm begging you." For a moment the world went quiet except Emma's desperate breathing and the soft crunch of gravel under approaching feet. Noah wasn't used to drama. As a single dad, his life revolved around school lunches, bedtime stories, and trying to make ends meet. But something about this woman's eyes, wild, terrified, pleading, punched straight through his hesitation. And then Lily, his daughter, spoke softly from the back seat. "Daddy, she's crying." That was all it took. Noah unlocked the passenger door and pushed it open. "Get in, now." Emma scrambled inside, ducking low, pulling the torn veil over her face. Noah slid into the driver's seat and turned the key. The engine roared. The two men appeared at the edge of the lot, scanning the area. "There," one shouted. Noah didn't wait. He slammed the accelerator. Gravel flew. Tires screeched. The SUV lurched forward. Emma kept her head down, body shaking uncontrollably. She didn't breathe, she couldn't, until the wedding hall shrank into the distance. Only then did her tears come. Silent at first, then in waves that shook her shoulders. "Hey," Noah said softly, hands tight on the wheel. "You're safe now." She covered her face with trembling fingers. "Thank you. I didn't know what else to do." Noah glanced at her. Something about her tugged at his memory. He couldn't place it. A curve of her jaw, the shape of her eyes. He shook the thought away. This wasn't time for puzzles. Lily leaned forward from the back seat, resting her small chin on Emma's shoulder. Are you a princess? Emma let out a strangled laugh, wiping her eyes. Something like that, sweetheart. Noah drove. Miles passed. Streetlights blurred into streaks, but the strange familiarity wouldn't leave him. 6 months ago, he'd started a painting. A woman's face, soft, luminous, haunting. He hadn't known who she was. The image had come from nowhere, like a whisper he couldn't ignore. He never finished the painting. It felt incomplete, like he was waiting for something. Or someone. He glanced at Emma again. Her profile illuminated by the passing lights. Her expression, fragile, tired, heartbreaking. No, it couldn't be. People didn't just walk out of unfinished paintings and into real life. Yet, here she sat. He felt a shiver run down his spine. Emma looked at him suddenly, catching him staring. Why are you looking at me like that? She whispered. Noah swallowed. Number reason, but his heart whispered a truth he wasn't ready to say out loud. He knew her face. He'd painted it before he ever saw her. And something deep inside him, something ancient and unexplainable, told him this moment was no coincidence. Their lives were already tangled. They just didn't know how much yet. The sky had begun melting into a deep purple as Noah pulled into the quiet parking lot of a roadside diner. His hands gripped the steering wheel longer than necessary, his pulse still thundering from the chaotic escape. Emma sat rigidly beside him, clutching his daughter's hoodie around herself. The oversized cotton swallowed the wedding dress, but her trembling fingers betrayed her fear. You're safe here, Noah said gently. Let's get you something warm. Emma nodded, though hesitation trembled in her eyes. She wasn't used to trusting strangers. Especially men. But Noah, something about him felt different. Grounded, safe. They stepped inside. The diner smelled like coffee and old vinyl seats. A single waitress wiped down a counter while soft country music played in the background. No one even looked at them. Emma exhaled shakily, as if finally allowed to exist without eyes watching her. They took a corner booth. Noah ordered hot chocolate for Lily and tea for Emma. She wrapped both hands around the mug as if absorbing warmth directly into her bones. For several minutes, neither spoke. Finally, Noah leaned forward, voice quiet but steady. Who exactly are you running from? Emma stared into her tea, watching the steam swirl like smoke from a burning bridge. My fiancé, she said softly. And my family, they want me to marry a man who scares me. Controls me. Noah's jaw tightened. Emma continued, her voice trembling. He threatened my father's business. My future. Everything. I tried to convince myself I could live with it. But today, standing there in that dress, I felt like I was walking into a cage. Her breath cracked. I couldn't do it. Noah nodded slowly. Good. You shouldn't have to. Emma blinked, startled. No one in her life had ever said that with such certainty. Lily returned from the restroom and immediately slid into the booth next to Emma, resting her head against her arm. I like you, Lily announced. You're very pretty. Emma smiled for the first time since running. Thank you, sweetheart. Noah watched the scene, the timid bride leaning into a child's unexpected affection. Something about it tugged painfully at him. But another thought tugged even harder. Emma Rivers. Her face. Those eyes. He still couldn't shake the familiarity. Emma, he began carefully, I know this might sound strange, but have we met before? She blinked. No, I would remember you. Noah hesitated, then pulled out his phone. He scrolled to the photo he'd taken months ago. I want to show you something. Emma leaned in as he turned the screen toward her. Her gasp shattered the quiet diner. It was her face, painted in soft strokes, unfinished but unmistakably her. The same curve of her lips. The same quiet sorrow in her eyes. Even the angle of her chin. It looked like a portrait of her soul. Emma stared as if gravity suddenly didn't exist. No, how? Her breath stuttered. Noah, that's me. I know, he whispered. But I painted this long before I ever met you. He remembered the night vividly. He'd woken from a dream, her face lingering like a fading memory. He'd rushed to his easel and begun painting without knowing why. Emma's eyes filled with wonder and fear all at once. Why would you paint me? We're total strangers. I don't know, Noah murmured. Sometimes I dream faces, but yours, I couldn't forget it. Even when I tried. Silence swelled between them, thick with the weight of something neither could name. Fate, recognition, a connection older than the moment they met. Emma touched the screen gently, tracing the painted version of herself. This is impossible, but it's real, Noah said. She lifted her gaze to his, voice trembling. What does it mean? Noah swallowed hard. Maybe maybe we were meant to meet. Emma felt her heartbeat twist painfully in her chest. And then the diner door slammed open. 3 men in dark suits stepped inside. Victor's men. Emma flinched violently, nearly knocking over her tea. Noah instantly reached across the table, covering her hand with his. "Don't move," he whispered. The men scanned the diner. One leaned toward the waitress, showing a photo of Emma on his phone. She shook her head, but they didn't believe her. "Stay low," Noah mouthed. Emma's breath came in quick, panicked bursts. Lily tugged on Noah's sleeve. "Daddy, I'm scared." "It's okay, baby. Trust me," he murmured. He grabbed Emma's hand under the table. "Come on." They slipped out of the booth just as the men moved deeper into the diner. Noah pushed the kitchen door open quietly, guiding Emma through the steam-filled room and out the back exit. Cold night air swallowed them. "Hold Lily's hand," Noah whispered, scooping his daughter up. Emma gripped her tiny fingers tightly as they hurried behind the diner and straight into the trees behind it. Branches clawed at Emma's gown as they ran through the forest. Her legs trembled, her breathing burned like fire. But Noah kept glancing back, reassuring her with every look. "I've got you. Just keep going. You're doing great." Almost there. At last, they reached an old abandoned cabin hidden between tall pines. Noah pushed the door open. It creaked, releasing a puff of dust and old wood scent. Inside, moonlight seeped through broken boards. "It's not much," he said, catching his breath, "but we'll be safe here for the moment." Emma sank onto an overturned crate, chest still rising and falling rapidly. "I'm sorry," she whispered suddenly. "I dragged you and your daughter into this. I never should've." "Stop," Noah said gently, kneeling in front of her. "You didn't drag us into anything. I chose to help you." Emma stared at him, at the sincerity in his eyes. No man had ever spoken to her like that. No man had ever protected her without expecting something in return. Lily climbed into Emma's lap and curled up, as if sensing her pain. Emma's voice trembled. "I don't understand why you're being so kind." Noah looked at her, really looked at her. At the woman whose face he had painted before ever seeing her. At the stranger who felt like someone he had known in another life. "Because," he said quietly, "I think I've been searching for you long before today." Emma's breath caught. "And maybe," Noah added, touching her hand gently, "you've been searching too." Her eyes softened, glistening in the dim moonlight. She reached up, brushing a strand of hair from his face with tender hesitation. "Noah," she whispered, "I don't know what fate is, or destiny, but I know one thing." She leaned closer, heart pounding in her ears. "When I saw you in that parking lot, something in me said run to him. I don't know why, but I trusted it." Noah's voice was low, almost reverent. "Then trust it now." Their fingers intertwined, gentle, shaky, full of unspoken meaning. For a moment, the world outside didn't exist. Not Victor, not fear, not the chaos waiting to swallow them. Just 2 souls in a forgotten cabin, discovering they were connected long before life allowed them to meet. Emma rested her forehead against Noah's. And for the first time in years, she felt safe. Their story wasn't over. It had just begun.